let's review Stranger of Paradise, a challenging action game based on Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy fueled my best childhood memories, so imagine my excitement when Koei Tecmo announced a collaboration with the Final Fantasy universe. Despite the game's overwhelming references to Final Fantasy lore, I found that I didn't quite get the Final Fantasy experience that I expected. Its darker tone, its intense violence and gore, and its lackluster story deviated from a Final Fantasy game. This game became notorious for its trailer, which instantly became a meme. The characters are so blunt, so aggressively dramatic, that it loops back to being hilarious. It's one of those so bad it's good situations. If you're looking for a solid story or character development, it's best to look elsewhere. Instead, the strongest point of this game is its deep and thoughtful action combat system. Every single one of its 28 playable jobs feel distinct. Each skill has a purpose, each foe poses a different challenge, and every dungeon feels fresh and unique. The developer Team Ninja's talent and experience is on full display in this elegant and rich gameplay system, and reminds me of their past games like Ninja Gaiden and Nioh. You have a normal attack and a special attack at your disposal. The special attack that comes out depends on your weapon and how many normal attacks you chained before it. For defense, you have a dodge, block, and a parry. You can also stock up to 9 potions, which drop from enemies once in a while. Despite having many defensive options, you can't easily evade if you're committed to an attack. This game isn't a button masher. Fortunately, enemies will telegraph their attacks, going so far as to display the names of the special attack over their heads. Learning the enemy patterns and countering them is part of the learning process. Unlike Demon's Souls, you don't lose a lot when you die. You just respawn in the nearest save point with reduced maximum MP. MP is used for your special attack or command abilities. One of the most useful command abilities is called Lightbringer. Activating it will grant you a couple seconds of invincibility, and then for the next half a minute, all your attacks will do extra break damage. Break damage will drain the break gauge of the enemy. Once an enemy is broken, you can instantly kill them with the parry button, which triggers a brutal finisher. Performing a finisher is extremely satisfying, with elaborate animations reminiscent of Mortal Kombat or God of War. You can also increase your maximum MP by performing these finishers. As you level up, you can spend job points to unlock nodes in the job tree, including unlocking new abilities, enhancing existing actions, and sometimes even unlocking new jobs. The job system gives a lot of freedom in customization. You can assign 2 jobs at once, and you can freely swap jobs in real time using the top face button. If you are bold, you can perform some tricky maneuvers, such as cancelling a normal attack into a job change, which allows you to continue your combo, but with a different job. Chaining attacks and switching jobs fluidly allows for a very complex but rewarding learning curve. Some enemies like Flans resist physical attacks but are weak to magic. Some enemies are weak to certain elements. The combat system is so well integrated that there are endless strategies to discover. The game's default difficulty level is set to the easiest setting. Being a person who is comfortable with action games, I tested the next difficulty setting, but I got my butt kicked even by normal enemies. Harder difficulties will drop better loot. You can change the difficulty at will. If story difficulty is too hard for you, you can enable casual mode, but this is only available when playing offline. Speaking of offline, if you decide to play the game in single player mode, you get 2 AI-controlled characters, which you can equip with the gear you find. Sometimes the AI can be infuriating when they just hang around and do nothing. However, they truly shine when you fight multiple enemies. If you have online play available, you will be able to join others in their missions. Online play is definitely an impressive addition to the game. The progression structure is similar to a dungeon looter like Monster Hunter or Destiny 2. You join missions, get stronger level gear, and gain upgrade material and experience. You can dismantle unwanted gear. Story missions are longer and more complex, while optional missions are shorter. Optional missions share the same maps as story missions, except you start at the end and travel to the beginning. Flipping or reversing the levels is a great way to squeeze in extra life from the maps. The backwards route was modified with care to feel like a completely different map. Many of the dungeons have branching paths that intricately connect and make exploration interesting. Some of them have simple puzzles to solve, or they may have environmental hazards that can be mitigated with the proper strategy. For example, some levels have cliffs that you can fall off. If you fall off, you will respawn on the ground, but you will take massive damage. Interestingly, you could smack enemies down these same cliffs and instantly defeat them. The environmental design is perhaps the best part of the graphics. The battle animations are fluid and convincing, but a bit stiff during cutscenes. The armor looks well designed, and equipping different gear will change how your character looks. I appreciate how the developers let us prioritize performance or image quality. Even when prioritizing performance, the FPS only reaches 60 frames per second on a few cutscenes. Combat sections feel more like 30 frames per second on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Your character and equipment can get covered in blood in a pretty convincing way, but you can turn off the blood splatter, which I did for this review. The PlayStation 4 version suffers a bit from loading time even in menus. For example, if you open the skill tree, you can wait around 5 seconds before the menu changes. I was surprised that this game didn't have a mini-map, but it seems to be a design choice to increase the tension. Thankfully, there is a destination marker. In summary, Stranger of Paradise is a solid action game that has a rewarding battle that you can really sink your teeth into, but apart from the combat and some clever environmental art, the rest seems bare-bone. This game can appeal to gamers who are looking for a Souls-like with well-tuned combat. Dadozy Gaming gives Stranger of Paradise a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and happy gaming!